Unbreakable. Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. I'm excited to be here, because I had my, buddy reach out. Chris, you out there? I know you watching because you tell me you follow. You don't ever make no comments, brother, but I just want to let you know. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. This young brother, I had opportunity to coach him when he was 13, 14, all the way through high school, kept in touch with him throughout his college career, and now he's going into the Air Force. Congratulations. But that's a sign of hard work and making changes. And I know one thing that we always talked about during our coaching sessions, and even today, we always talk about turn the page. Something happened, we got to turn the page. If you make a mistake, you still have to turn the page. If you suffer a loss or a lesson, 24-hour rule. You lick your wounds, do your review, you turn the page. Because when you're trying to get to a goal, when you're trying to reach a destiny, you can't dwell on what you didn't do right. You can't dwell on what other people didn't do right. You can only focus on what you can control and turn the page. And so we talked to about midnight last night. So I always enjoy checking when the young brother call and check. And so he's doing well. So appreciate you, young brother. Appreciate you. And then I want to continue this week. A lot of people been having a conversation about what's the difference between changing or growing. And there's conflict that's out there. People say, I'm not changing for nobody. I'm not changing for this. I'm not changing for that. And what ends up happening is you confuse growing with making a change. So that comes down to the first coaching point is awareness always comes first. So you don't necessarily need to just change. The first thing you need to do is become aware. You can't even grow if you won't acknowledge that there's an area that you're trying to move into, that there's some levels you're trying to go to, and then recognize where you're at. Because a lot of times we lie about, or we don't want to really take a look at the true truth about where we're really at or what we didn't do to prepare to go forward. And growth always begins when you're honest about where you are. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the skills. I don't have the patience. What do I need to work on? It's not where you wish you were. And so the first thing comes is awareness, and you have to be able to see your blind spots without judgment, activating your self-awareness. You start judging yourself just because you're not in the spot or just because you haven't recognized where you're supposed to go. And so you have to have somebody point out the blind spots and be willing to hear that, because a lot of times they blind spots because we can't see them. So we continue to operate in a deficit. And so change doesn't start with doing. It starts with seeing where you are, locating where you are, so that you'll know what you need to do to begin to move forward. And coaching point number 2, discomfort. Yes, discomfort is the doorway. Real growth never happens in the comfort zone. And every time you stretch, resistance will show up to try to get you not to stretch and push forward. And that's not a sign to stop. That's really confirmation that you're growing. When you feel uncomfortable about something and you moving forward, that's a sign that you are stretching and growing. Let me give you an example. So for, I don't know, 5 to 7 years, I was in a BNI chapter called it doesn't matter about the name, but Business Networking International, the largest networking group in the world. And I had the opportunity to work with some really dynamic people. And I watched 5 different presidents run the chapters. I took everything that they did that was great. But we were last in the county and in the very bottom rung in the state. And so I took a look at some things when I became the president on what you need to do in order to grow. And so the meeting started at 7 in the morning, and my team and we would be there at 5 o'clock in the morning so that we can make sure everything was running smooth, that we had network before 7 o'clock. We started exactly on time and we ended exactly on time. But here's where the discomfort came in. I stood up during the whole meeting and ran the meeting online. Now, most people are always sitting down when they run meetings, but I stood up because it brings a different energy. It attracts a different vibe. And the next thing you know, we doubled in size. People hit their financial goals, and we were able to double plus some more and become chapter of the year in growth and in financial increase. That was discomfort, but we also grew. So did all our members, and we were able to achieve some great things. So that's what I mean when I say discomfort. And discomfort is proof that your old limits are being challenged. If you stretch, it's shaping you. So continue to stretch. And coaching point number 3, consistency turns change into a part of your character. If you consistently do something, it becomes a part of you. So if you consistently drink or smoke, it becomes a part of you. If you consistently sharpen your skills to get better, that's going to become a part of you, and you're going to elevate and go to the next level. It's done in small steps daily, and that's what builds that unstoppable momentum. So you want to make sure that you create repetition to transform your efforts into your identity. You know, what you work on, what you do becomes who you are. So there's a guy out there, Big V. I love you, man. Big V, man, that guy gets up every morning for years to work out. Oh my goodness, it is a part of who he is. That was something I used to do, but man, I'm not getting up every morning anymore working out like that. I mean, he's like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4:30 workout type of guy, and he's been doing it for years. But that's a part of his character. Looks good, is in great shape, and that becomes who you are. And consistency doesn't change your habits, it really rewires how you see yourself. And so those are some things to think about, to meditate on, to take a look at, that you want to add and see if you're trying to get to the next level, what sort of things do you need to spot? Have somebody say, hey, your blind spots, you don't do A, B, and C. So you're not going to be able to get to EDF. But make sure y'all don't get into a fight about that, because a lot of times if you ask for the truth, people will give it to you. But don't get defensive when they tell you what the problem is, and then you want to start fighting. Just sit back, even if you think they're wrong, but just listen and take a look and see what you think they're trying to say to you. And I just want to let you know that tomorrow I'm gonna have a very special guest on, man. Joshua Langford, former Michigan State star, had a injury that he had to retire, man, and it dashed his pro career. He's going to be on tomorrow, and we're going to have an extended podcast. It'll be on at 5 in the morning. We already ready, and it's going to replay at 10 a.m. But you're not going to want to miss this one tomorrow, because that's the icon of being broken, being broke, getting knocked down hard, having your dreams dashed and way in front of you. But really, he was unbreakable because he was able to recover and still move forward. And so you're going to want to tune in. In the meantime, y'all, that's my time. I appreciate you. And leave a comment in about change. What do you struggle with change? Do you think you need to change? Are there some things you need to work on? Let me know again what the difference between change and what growth really is. I would appreciate that, y'all. And that's my time for the day. Y'all take care, and